when it starts, so you can jump in now.
Okay. It seems more staged than spontaneous.
It's not like that. It's not like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of thing.
And you're only seeing near you.
As you can see how now.
Okay, that's fine. You want to do? You can put it in the corner?
I can put it back.
Oh, I thought I was criticizing you. Is it on already?
Yes, that's how it works.
Oh. I know one. Well, you're going to watch that while we're doing that? They're going to hear now.
I was just going to see what
It's the same thing, it's just more far.
I can't let me say that.
Look, like if you angle it a little bit. What's his name? Steve. It's on here. Hello, everyone. I don't think there's anyone really on yet.
I can't tell.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can hear. Hopefully you can
You
hear us.
I don't know how well the quality is from here. This is bear with us. This is our first time, so we're trying to work with how YouTube is advancing. So as you can tell, this is our first live.
Yes. So
Bless you.
okay. So what are we discussing?
Yeah, so we're discussing the what was the title again there?
Lean forward now. They can't see you.
What was the title? Give me a second. 1 minute. One momento.
As you see, you're still working through it.
This whole what's the different what is it?
You put us in the show.
Okay, yeah.
Nope, still can't see you.
What's the title? Yes.
Okay.
I think she just want to talk about different cultures. You want to talk about different cultures that we have represented. I think, I guess, just her observation of how Antiguans are as opposed to some of the other cultures.
What we noticed about Guyanese and Jamaican, but as we're just identifying what we see, the changes in different cultures. I think you were trying to.
It's not the changes in difficulties. We want to look at the different cultures and how different it is from our culture here in Antigua. So we are basically focusing on Jamaica and Guyana, those two countries, and from what we see from people that live here on the island. So yeah, we want to wait and we want to see if anybody's coming in. And we're waiting so people can come in because we don't want to discuss, and then I know they can go back and look when we want to. Yeah. What you're saying then?
I can say you want to wait. Fine. That was asking what specifically in regards to that do you want to talk about?
Yeah, what you're targeting.
What I have noticed, well, first of all, I have noticed the behavior in Antigua, the behavior in a Guyanese person and a Jamaican towards their own people, their own country people.
Okay. Okay.
So, do you know of any do you notice anything about a Jamaican or a Guyanese, or even one different that is different from what we Antiguan, from the behavior of our own Antiguan people?
Me personally,
It's not personally overall. Okay, I can start off. Okay, so what I have noticed is that in both an Antiguan and a Guyanese, I have noticed them. I don't have I have a lot of Guyanese friends, but I can't say I have any Jamaican friends. But I have noticed from um, attending school, a college with Jamaican people, and what I have noticed about them in particular. Let me look at Guyanese first. If any of us, um, if you go downtown, if you go down St. John's, not any particular, but maybe a Saturday, Friday, and a Sunday, what you will see a lot of Guyanese vendors, and especially when I go to the market on Saturday, I will see a lot of Guyanese vendors, and they will have basically like the largest stall. And what I would notice is that you will see, even though you will see this large stall, you will say, they have so many things, they're going to sell off all these things. But it's what I have noticed in my going to the market was is that their own people will support them. So if there is a Guyanese have a vegetable stall, or they have a shop, or they have a store, granted that Guyanese are going to support Guyanese. And I love that about them. Say what you want about them, but they support their own. I had the privilege of attending college where there was a lot of Guyanese, Jamaicans. And what I have noticed is basically the same pattern. Jamaicans supporting Jamaicans. If there is a job out there, and they are already in a job and there's a vacancy, you better know that they're going to call their Jamaican people and they're going to get them that job. Do all that they can to get them in that job or that position. And especially if there's a Jamaican that is in a top position, you better know that they're going to look out for all the Jamaican people, and that is what I love about them.
Okay.
Anything to add to that?
Well, what I've noticed with Jamaican, I'm guessing I can go based on because I don't have much Jamaican friends in Antigua, but I have a lot. I had interact with a lot of them at the college I went to in New York City, and what I've noticed is that their culture, they're always based on family generating the kind of love that they have for their family. Where, for example, someone that lives in Jamaica, I'm not sure if they would live by themselves or live with two other family members or so, but anything they make, they send it back home. I'm not sure if it's because the currency is, what is it, lower or higher?
It doesn't have a lot of value.
It doesn't have a lot of value, so most of this Jamaicans that do live in the United States that I know of, they're accustomed to like work hard wherever they are and send whatever they can back home, which some cultures also do it, but I feel like Jamaicans do it the most. And then with Guyanese, which I have a good amount in Antigua, is that they like to
Friends?
friends. I have a good amount of friends that are Guyanese or half Guyanese, whichever you want to call it. And what I realized, wherever they go, they end up sharing their culture in pertains to their food. I don't know about anybody else, but everybody who knows me knows I love curry. And I realized if you want a really good taste of their culture, you should get it from themselves. So that's what I've noticed between both Jamaicans and Guyanese. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Just because I guess I'm bringing a different perspective in that I lived abroad for a while, and I don't feel like there's a huge sense of community of Antiguans, so to speak. I mean, I did go to Antiguan Day in Canada. That was interesting. Uh, yeah, Antigua Day. Yeah, Antigua Day in Canada. I never been. I know they have Antigua Day in New York as well. So I guess that's an opportunity for Antiguans to get together. But what I'm saying, I don't see a huge community of Antiguans. So if like an Antiguan had a restaurant, we'd be like, oh yeah, let's go and visit that Antiguan restaurant because I know there's a brownies in the Bronx, but I don't know anyone that's been there at least recently. So um, I'm just trying to compare to see if we were in a different country, if Antiguans were in a different country, if we would, go visit a particular store or whatever because that person was Antiguan. Maybe the situation is that we don't have a lot of immigrants, like a huge immigrant population everywhere, like there is for like Jamaicans.
But it's not
Ghanaians.
necessary we're talking about them. Okay, you're talking about if you're coming from the a place where you were living abroad. But how do you see, or then you wouldn't probably know about Antiguans and if Antiguans support Antiguans here. That's what you're saying.
Oh no, well, no, I'm just saying maybe the reason why you seeing it like that they Jamaicans are supporting Jamaicans and Guyanese are supporting Guyanese is because they're here as immigrants, right? And obviously, if they're here as immigrants, they're gonna support fellow immigrants. That's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to see if when I was living abroad, if I was, promoted to also support fellow Antiguans when I was technically an immigrant.
Well, from my experience abroad, okay, so we know that you might go on vacation and you might go by a relative or a friend, and as Antiguans, when we're going away, we will pack up a lot of what we have here and say, because you know we know we're going by with relatives or friends, and we want to carry back a piece of our island back in the States and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's all nice and everything, and we'll try and share. But it comes a point when after you would have been at that relative's home for maybe like a little too long, that you start to feel like maybe they might not come right out and say, it's time for you to go, or it's you're overstaying, but you can most of the but this is from my experience. I don't know about other people's experience. It's like the time has come. It's like you're here. You don't spend the
You
vacation,
overstay welcome.
and it's like you're overstaying. So you start to get a different vibe from the person. I don't know what, but
No, she's like just touch each other
so
because it's really hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Sweating.
yeah, it's like it's time for you to go, and you feel like you're not overstay. You're welcome. I don't know if if um, you know you've done your time. That's it's time to go.
Yeah.
And so but you're definitely feeling like a different vibes from the person. And so I've not heard of person who they're not as accommodating when they go to their family members, and some will say, okay, they can't accommodate you, maybe because I don't know, maybe because they live in the States and it's not as easy as you live here in Antigua, you have your own home,
Yeah.
and so you don't have to be paying maybe rent or whatever. But when you're up there, it's much harder because you have to be working twice as hard, probably working 2-3 jobs in order to make it. And even though some may not let off, that's the case up there, because they have most of the time come back and make things seem as if it's more easier in the States. So so you go up there and expect to have a good time and spend time with the person, and then you are burdening down the person because for whatever reason. But I know that I have definitely felt that Antiguans are not as accommodating, and that's just from my own experience and perspective. And even here in Antigua, where Antiguans an Antiguan person, even sometimes a relative, are trying to be an entrepreneur or have their own business. Family members sometimes, even family members sometimes have a tough time supporting you because they're thinking, oh, um,
It's like a
you know,
competition.
yeah, you're not getting my money, or you're not getting,
Or you're not getting up. You're not getting more money than me. Or you're not getting
yeah,
better
I'm
status
getting up,
than me. That
right,
kind of thing.
yeah. So
mean-
that's how I feel. Whereas I see Jamaicans will work 20 jobs and they'll bring up the whole family if they have to.
If they have to.
And if they have to, they will do work all through the night just to make that extra box, so that they can have the nicest things, and they're going to support the Jamaican because they would have known where they came from. So, and maybe, as you say, maybe because they're immigrants. So I don't know.
Maybe, and that might be a major aspect of it. But I think when you brought up the point about people living, like, let's say you bring up people and they're immigrating and they're staying with you, you know, that kind of thing. I think of the Chinese people. Like, they will have like 20 people living in one small apartment. Right?
Yeah.
All of them trying to make it, and
Yeah.
that's totally normal. That's totally normal in New York. Even here. That's
Yeah.
totally normal, right? Everyone would be working for each other and that kind of stuff. Because they have a sense of community, they have a
Yeah.
sense of ensuring that everybody get a piece of the pie,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
yourself, you know. So maybe that's something that we need to work on.
Yeah,
As a people.
as a country, and I find that we are, I don't know if we feel like if we help up somebody, they're gonna be have more than us, or
Maybe,
be better off
yeah.
than us. That sometimes, because there's, I mean, so many people come, because look in Antigua, look at the St. John's Town. And I'm not saying that people when people do travel, or people migrate, they come to have a better life, so they will work twice as hard, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But look around in our St. John's, and the stores that are still open, most of the stores that are still open, they are run by immigrants, Chinese, Jamaicans, the Guyanese, the whatever, the Syrians. They all taken, have most of the businesses. And if you see an Antiguan start a business, and I don't know if it's just not the support, they don't get, they're not getting the support to keep maintain their store, to keep it open, or they, I don't know, they're not doing something right, that after maybe a couple of years that business will go out, definitely go out of business. So I don't know
Where we're going wrong.
what we can do. We welcome your comments. We welcome any suggestion that you have, because we know that this is something that is very interesting to see how different it is, how the cultures are different, and how people think differently in different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Dave is saying that's a good day. Good day to you, Dave.
Dave Donaldson.
Donaldson.
Thank you for saying good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon.
She doesn't even know what time of day it is.
Feels like morning because of the sun. But I think we made some valid points between, not only in the contrast between Guyanese and Jamaican, which we're now understanding they bind themselves, and we're looking at the point that they, because they may be not Guyanese, immigrants, why they try to build together in whichever within the, yeah.
You help me, I help you.
Yeah.
Sort of thing,
I'm trying to look based on, like, if any immigrants were in New York, if I seen it before, I've not known any business.
It's not even about business, it's about family also, because I find that like as I said, I was going to a college where you have a lot of Jamaicans. It was like I remember going to the labs and so, and the tutors at the labs, if we have 10 tutors at the labs, you will have maybe 5 of them being Jamaican. They're over ambitious, that's what I know for sure. But more than that, it's about, and my advisor was a Jamaican. And trust me, if you are an advisor or you have a position in the college, which at that time there was a Jamaican who was in a position there, and so there were, um, you'll find that because that person is in that position, if he's going to hire or she's going to hire anybody, she's looking out for her people. She's going to make sure that her people get that job.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
I don't think it's just for Jamaicans, honestly, because I'm actually I teach HR, and one of the major things we were talking about this week is the fact that just by our nature, we're going to treat people that have similarities to us better in the workplace. Like just for instance, in the workplace, because that's what we're dealing with. So like, if you have to hire somebody, let's say you're Jamaican, you have to hire someone, you're just gonna be naturally drawn to the Jamaican because they have that similarity with you.
That's what
Right?
I'm saying. That
And it's not just Jamaican, that's what I'm saying.
but we're focusing on Jamaicans and Guyanese, opposing to our own country people, Antiguans.
But we don't know, and to be completely fair, we don't know that that doesn't happen. We just don't have a lot of Antiguan immigrants that are working in power at Monroe.
But I'm not. No, I've been talking about. So you're
Suggesting.
you're keeping it in. You're talking about. We're not talking about. We're talking about in Antigua. I only expanded just to draw a reference to my college and stuff to draw a reference. So we basically focusing on the behavior of the Jamaican and the Guyanese in Antigua.
But I
and
think
their behavior, their
Yeah.
cultural behavior opposed
Yeah.
to Antiguans themselves.
I think what Danilo was trying to say, I feel like what you're addressing to could be possibly in every country. For example, if Antiguans are in Jamaica, they probably have a more unified community
Community,
there,
yeah.
and then
So-
maybe Jamaicans are more spread out.
Yeah.
So I
they
think
will
she's saying
focus on. So you're saying that if Antiguans, if it is the vice versa,
Yes.
Antiguan would be okay. I get it.
Yeah, and I
I
can see that
understand.
happening.
I understand. I can
Okay, Mrs. McKinney
Yeah.
says, "Do you guys like living in Antigua?"
I love living in Antigua.
That was
Yeah.
one of the
I,
reasons.
I definitely love.
we love Antigua.
love living in Antigua.
We love it.
Because I mean, I have lived in the United States for 2 years while I was going to college, and I remember one time a professor asked me if I would ever stay after I was finished studying, and I said, nope. I'm going back home. I have my job, because I understand that. I don't know if any other country has this, but I remember going away to study and working for the government. I was able to go away and study and still receive my full pay. I don't know what other country would do that. I love my country because of that. I love my country because, I mean, I can just, if I want to go anywhere, I don't have to travel so far as I had to do in New York. I have to travel so far to get to school.
Yeah.
I love my country because of that. If I'm feeling too hot, I can go to the beach. I love my country because of that. I love it, the fact that we're neighborly. So basically, we're neighbors to my whole village, basically.
Yeah.
So if I am in need of something, I can always call my neighbor, like I'm sure today and whatever. Can you assist me? I don't know that that can happen. I mean, it probably can happen, but yeah, I love Antigua because we have it's access to everything that I need, actually.
And the food. Sorry, nobody
Yeah.
said food.
Yeah.
I love Antigua because of the food. I think Our foods, we have a wide variety, especially since we're mixing with different culture and people put their own twists on things. But the food itself is amazing, especially the local drinks and the sweets. Love them, especially since Independence is coming up. I can't wait for that. So
Yeah. Yeah, and auntie, I feel like you know, just always an expectation for people like I don't know, we have a culture of immigration. I think that's something to unpack. Maybe not today, but that's something to unpack. We have a culture of immigration in the Caribbean and I think probably in African countries where it's expected like that's like seen as the thing to do, right? To immigrate, to study and to immigrate.
Yeah.
Study and immigrate because like supposedly a country's so bad
Right,
that you
yeah.
you have to immigrate.
great, yeah.
And I remember I felt like that was something that people expected of me. People still expect me up to the time I'm here. What 4 years now? Back 4 years. People still expect me to leave.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, I love like look at where we get to wake up and live
Yeah,
I
every
get
day.
to see the sea from my parents' room if I want to enjoy the sea breeze.
Like it's like you just think about like so every so often I pass and I was like, look where I get to live. Like you remember you know where we were living before? We were living in Brooklyn.
And-
in- Go ahead. We were living in Brooklyn in apartment where you barely ever see the sun. You don't even know it's raining when you're inside
Outside,
your
I know.
house. Like you have to shovel the walkway. You didn't have to do it, but you have to shovel the walkway or you kill yourself, like because you slip down
or
and
you get sued.
break your neck.
Or you get
And
sued.
then the commute, our commute to work, like
No,
that's not
2 hours
fullness of
commute to
life.
school.
That's not
a lot
fullness
people,
of
a
life.
lot of people think that. I mean, there's opportunities abroad.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
The television, of course, let you believe that it's all this glorious
Yeah,
and
there's
everything, and
definite
you can't
opportunities.
find opportunity, but you have to go and you have to work twice as hard.
And I think those we have to really acknowledge too that some people are really living in poverty in some of our countries. So of course that's a great opportunity for them to change their
Right,
lives.
yeah.
So we don't want to disregard and say, well, you guys are living a good life, so that's why whatever. But we understand that some are definitely living in poverty. But Ben, you want to say something?
No, I was saying we're not trying to come for Brooklyn because
I love Brooklyn.
I love me some
Look, I mean,
Brooklyn,
New York,
but I think what we're trying to say it wasn't meant for us
Yeah.
because of how I felt that we were there by ourselves, and as mommy was addressing about community,
We didn't have
our
that.
our community was definitely not in Brooklyn. I think you would find them more in the Bronx, but still we're not together. We're just spread out.
Yeah.
And because of that, I felt that we were lacking that culture to make us realize, even though we're in New York, we're still Antiguans.
Yeah, we
So-
felt very disconnected.
Disconnected. And I think we really truly, besides family, that was another concern for me personally, because I was just feeling like I'm losing the roots that I have.
And I think for us too, we started to feel like very, like I know when cause we come home every Christmas at least, right?
Yeah.
At least one time a year, and I feel like we would be like, that bawling, but like really physically like depressed, having to go back to New York, right? I was like, this is not fullness of life. It's not fullness of life. Like we're up here because people think we should be up here, right? We're up here because people think this is where we should be. Our family or the people we love the most are down here. Like it didn't make no sense after a while.
Yeah, people migrated to the state and they make it, and it's for you.
It's
That's
fabulous.
fine.
Fabulous.
If that's for you, fine. It's not for everybody. Some people
Yeah.
would go and after a while they feel like, okay, I can do better back home, or
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah,
have a better
Which I-
life
which I
back
did.
home. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, we're not coming for people who have gone
Who
away
migrated, absolutely
and,
not.
and make it, and
Yeah.
and if you feel that, even if you're struggling, you feel like, okay, this
That's-
is where I want to be, that's good for you, and
Yeah.
you can wish you
Absolutely.
the best in your future
Okay.
endeavors. Yeah, but when for some people it's just not for them.
Okay. Donnell Brown.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Darnell. Has a lot to say. I will try to cut it off where I think is necessary. India do that too. Indians do that too. A ton of them live in one house and they pay off their mortgage faster. In Toronto too, there have been problems where black people supporting one another. But in the last year or two, we have started advertising black business and supporting black business people. But through I'm not sure she put them up. People put them up on social media. It's been a very, very, very long time in coming. Believe me. You cut it there. So I think she was trying to make a point that the support that black people are looking. I think we're talking about black people who are Korean. Because I'm sure COVID has been a problem to a lot of businesses. They have not gotten the support that they were expecting as starting their business, where they have to post and assist other people to post. Which I think posting is another way to bring communities together. Because in honesty, when I was in New York, I would not have known, unless a friend would have told me, I would not have known that they have an Antigua Day on this certain day. That's the only time I actually get to see my fellow Antiguans. I actually been to Antigua Day once.
Yeah, you went, yeah.
And honestly, as soon as
in New York.
in New York,
Yeah, okay.
and honestly, when I went, I just felt so at home. I smelled all the food that I'm supposed to smell. I had so much fun just listening to our music, hanging around with our people. I saw people playing dominoes and that. What's that game where you have the seed and you
Worry.
worry? They were doing a lot,
Yeah.
and it just made you realize you need to experience your culture more often to realize and to appreciate it more.
And I think what I would say about New York, I think most of the Antiguans in the Bronx. Because I know they have a regular like banquets and that kind of stuff every year. But it's it was all the way in the Bronx, and we weren't living in the Bronx. So that might have been a factor.
Yeah,
Transportation.
Because as we know, we didn't have a car.
I like the idea of the idea of community. Just because it's like you're helping up each other, and sometimes when you migrate and you don't and things are not going to be
Yeah.
good the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and so you definitely need that support. That's
Yeah, community is so
community
important.
that, to help out.
Seriously. I think about all the years, because I actually lived in the States for like 6 years by myself, right? And you feel like you literally lose like yourself, because you have to code switch. If you know, code switches, mommy. You ever heard code switch? Is when you have to turn off your accent so that people will understand you.
I
Right?
didn't
So
know
it's
that's
like
what it
it's
is.
code switch. Like, so they say like immigrants, they know how to code switch. Like they go in and out of like they go in and out of accents. Right? So you have to code switch all the time. You have to you're eating the food you're accustomed to, right? And just like certain things about yourself you have to constantly be explaining. Like I'm trying to explain Independence Day and what we do on Independence Day, and it's just like getting a blank, right? So it's strange. It's really a strange thing to be a immigrant, especially when you're doing it by yourself, right? Especially when you're doing it by yourself. But I'm glad I at least had that experience.
I'm glad for the
Yeah,
experience
I'm glad for
because
the experience.
it's not only that I went there to study, I get to embrace into another culture that was completely different. I saw less trees, even though most states have trees. Where we were, I saw less.
in the city.
Yeah, we were living in cities, so I saw less
True.
trees.
Civilized, yeah.
I'm not accustomed to a large amount of food, even though I liked it. They sell their quantities larger than anywhere else I would ever see it, and not able to find certain items that we would like. For example, mommy was cooking, I think, a traditional Antiguan dish, and it took us a while to find something. Was it goat meat?
I don't know.
I think it was
Potentially.
I don't know.
something. And then the thing is, some vegetables and other things are different compared to what they have. For example, sweet potato. Our sweet potato is not yellow. There's different types, but the sweet potato we're accustomed to use is not yellow. But if I go in a New York store, it is yellow. Unless you have to go into those.
Caribbean store in New York.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
go to a
you
Caribbean
have to go to,
market.
and there's not a lot of them in one general area. You're gonna have to travel. So, and we're so accustomed to get natural things, like go to a marketplace. If you saw a video of us going to Market Street to go to the market, we're accustomed to get things that probably just plucked out of the earth. And some of these things are just coming from far off, so that means they were
Yeah.
long ago picked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was.
And then I don't know if you really get a fresh fish, like a fish from actual sea when you're in the
Yeah,
that's a
coast
whole
here.
other thing. We can
Or you
talk
can
about
go to the
food on
fish
its
market.
own.
on its
On
own.
its
It's,
own.
it's like a real
Yeah.
culture
Yeah.
shock.
And you
when
don't really think
see it.
about it. When I was living away, people ask me what you miss the most. I was like, the food. Like, the food is like completely different. Like, you'll never get used to not having the stuff you're used to eating, right? Just never. You grew up eating the stuff, and all of a sudden you can't get access to it. It's
Exactly.
weird. It's
And even when you
absolutely
try,
weird.
and even when you actually get access to it, it just does not
Taste the same. Yeah, it don't taste
So,
the same. It's strange.
It's a real culture shock after that point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another question, I think.
Um,
Or comment.
Back to Mrs. Mickey. I hope I'm pronouncing it.
Bikini.
Bikini. Even though I lived in California, I miss Antigua food, people, and beaches. The mangoes are not even close to the same thing.
Not close.
And the thing is, the Mexican culture love their mangoes, especially when
Because
it's
they're not
seasoned.
accustomed to anything else but that.
There's
that
different
kind.
types of mangoes, different
Right.
breeds, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like the
But our mangoes
Mexican...
in the Caribbean, I don't know if the Caribbean soil is different from that of the States or whatever, but tastes totally different because mangoes from Dominica and St. Lucia's and St. Kitts kind of places, and then what we get here are the real deal.
It's just a different type.
just-
A
yeah.
different type. Just say different types of bananas.
yeah.
It's just different types. It
Our
has nothing to do
own-
with soil.
I don't agree with the soil part, but I think any of our fruits that I have in the United States compared to Antigua is always sweeter. Pineapple, the sugar cane, the mangoes, a lot of things, and I'm trying to understand if their culture is accustomed to this taste, why they're obsessed
Right,
with it.
because they don't know no different. Yeah.
People are obsessed with mangoes up there. Though.
No, I don't think. No, I meant.
them on the street. When we went up there, they cut them up.
But I don't think they're obsessed with that.
Okay, maybe they're not obsessed with it, but why they eat it as much as they do?
Because that's what
But
they know.
different cultures, mangoes. Like, I think Guyana and Trinidad eat mango green with pepper.
I know the
And
Dominicans, I think, as in Dominican Republic, I
Yeah.
think they eat, or Mexicans maybe, they eat it with like hot sauce and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's green.
okay.
I guess I give it another flavor.
I don't really
But
obsessed with it.
definitely our beaches and
365
to
of
die
them.
for.
Supposedly.
Nope, it was
It's
claimed
black.
it was 365
Y'all keep
beaches.
saying supposedly.
I have a theory, but I'm not gonna say it on this platform.
If your theory is that it's a long strap that they cut it in half,
No, that's not my theory.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
not my theory.
If it has every beach has an entrance and a shoreline, then
My theory is, yeah, I want to hear how many people are there? 4? Okay. This is my theory. Don't share this with nothing. This is between me and you, right? My theory is a tourism gimmick. Because how we reach exactly 365?
Hey,
Not
God
even
made it
Not even
so.
360, but exactly 365? Come on. Come on.
Listen, as I could tell, they said they start to, sometimes because of the water's receding, maybe they realize, oh,
Here's another
there's
beach.
another
it
beach.
has an entrance and a shore. It's the beach.
Like Hawksville, they count now sort of 5 beaches under Hawksville.
Listen, they're all on different.
Well, you can't call. It's not because it runs from one end to the end. If it's Hawksville, when you enter, that's a beach by itself. And then you have to basically go through the hotel, walk a distance to find the other
What was
beaches.
the other one? We didn't have that.
I've
I've never
never
seen
seen
the
that
other
one.
beach.
I think because we
you
were
have
on
to-
the
you
other
have to-
side.
You have to see it from the the water. You have to be on the sea.
If on the sea to sea, so it's probably at the back somewhere.
Because when we did, what do you call it? Sightseeing. Not sightseeing. We call
The tour?
it tour, the beach, the cruise.
Yeah.
Yes, we saw the nude one. That's a beach, right?
Which I'm questioning right now is Dickinson Bay. You have a
There's like 10 beaches.
yeah, right? I'll see it right here.
It's all called Dickinson Bay, but
You
the
sure?
beaches
'Cause I
have Sandals. Then you have
That beach,
Runaway, and because the beaches are named from because Sandals starts from here and ends here.
It's very long.
You can't. The whole area, general area, is called Dickinson. But Sandals starts from here to here. Halcyon starts from there to there. You can't name them all. They're beach by themselves.
No, they're not beach by themselves.
They are beach.
No,
They're-
because guess what? Before the hotels were there,
The hotels were there before me. I even.
the point is,
But they
before-
weren't there before.
Exactly.
There
So,
time.
So they cut off St. John's from Clear Hall.
St. John's from Clear Hall.
They cut off St. John's from Casada Gardens.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Okay,
No,
so it's the same thing with the beaches.
I didn't even know where
They
it starts
separate
or
them
where
and they
it
give them a
ends.
name. So that's what
Wait,
it is.
anyway, sorry, this is a tangent. But where is Clear Hall?
Clear Hall. I found out this when I went clinic. So you see where the clinic is, anything going so.
She's calling me, I didn't know.
Oh Lord. I'm sweating. We need to talk. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, sorry
Anyway.
about that. We were disconnected, right?
Anyhow, what was the other question?
You want to let the people know if we were disconnected. There's nothing wrong with that. Why you asking?
No problem. What the other question, sir?
No, it's not another question. The person says, Denuda tourism gimmick. They laugh.
I
believe.
believe not.
Yeah, all of a
I
sudden,
am not
hey,
encouraging that. It's not
hey,
gimmick.
I mean, again, it's between us. But when I came back, all of a sudden, everybody said, Auntie got curiosity to be
When you came back,
Actually,
the
no,
one-
no.
No?
I knew
this
we
is
had
before
no.
you were born, my
Listen,
dear.
no.
It is.
I've
It
never
was.
heard that.
Because you were too young to understand.
As I was saying.
I am telling you,
Listen,
I
no,
have
no, listen. I knew they had 365 beaches while I was in my first year in high school.
Okay.
Why? Because we had to sing something for independence, and it had the song that had the say 365 beaches. So it's been there a while. So it's not when you left that come back. Like they
Well, I mean,
discovered.
I'm just saying it's been a while, but I mean, the point is, on the every tourism thing now, it's like, the beach is just the beginning.
Because
365
Because guess what?
It's
That
our
is what-
livelihood. We don't want to promote
Nothing
our
is
country.
wrong. And nothing is wrong. I'm just saying.
The beach is just the beginning.
I never went out.
I
Anyway,
will join
that's
my-
my theory. And
my-
I was saying,
Say my life.
because I did anybody to name Archie 60. I did the tourism department to name Archie 65 beaches.
You heard it here first.
I did.
We can get that sorted out.
Yeah, okay. I did a list.
I need somebody to listen.
I did a list.
I need somebody to listen the first 100.
You're not going to let these people
At least 100.
not come to my country.
No, of course.
Because
Hey.
you say that it's going to give
Listen, besides the listen.
We already talked about how much we love Antigua.
Because guess what? We can't even get to all the beaches in a day.
That's
It
a
doesn't
beach
even
right
matter.
there. Look at beach over there. How come that one?
Wait,
over
wait.
there? I don't know if they count Jumbie Bay. Well, it's a beach.
Listen,
Again,
Michelle, you be the
I dare anyone to list at least 50 beaches, okay?
We can list
that's
50 beaches,
There-
but I mean 100 would be fair.
I will dare anybody to list 100 beaches. But anyway, again, that's my theory. That's my theory. I could be
Well,
wrong. I'm
well,
okay with being wrong.
Well, since the tourist is not coming to say, okay, show me the 360
So
lines.
y'all can
It
say
is
whatever y'all
fine.
want.
We can
It is
say,
fine.
Y'all can say
listen,
whatever y'all
listen,
want.
right?
And I love when you tell them. I feel like we told somebody I'm tourist the other day, and they're like, wow.
Yes, that's what
But
we
what
want.
for every day of the year?
That's what we want.
I was dying inside. I was dying. They really believe it.
Wow, dude.
Okay, I'm stop.
Anyways.
Y'all don't tell Gaston I said that. Okay? Thank you.
That's the next one to see this.
Anyhow.
I'm just going to say. I'll have to give that girl a lesson because she obviously is
I mean,
not Antiguan.
I love Antigua. I would tell anybody, like, even when I don't stay at home, I'm Antiguan. I love Antigua. I love where I'm from. So, I'm just saying, it's just, you know.
Anyways, are we done?
I love Antigua
That was
because I
it?
love my country and I was born here.
No questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or no?
So it was really nice.
50 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys.
Oh, wow.
No, no, y'all shut up.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, we're glad that you joined us today, and you know, if you have any other
Questions?
topics that we can
Discuss on
discuss
live.
on another live, Benjamin Sisters Live, that would be awesome. And we're glad that you joined us, for those of you who did, and we will. Any last words from Benwood and Bendy?
Have a beautiful week.
Ha-
Sorry, go ahead.
Go. It's okay. Go.
And then have a beautiful week, and don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell us what you think we should do next, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Maybe next time too, we should extend to our Instagram followers. You know.